Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Kiwanis Connects, coming to you from all over the globe. That's right. I'm in Virginia Beach. We got California covered twice. John's in Las Vegas. Hi. Thank you for joining us today and making us part of your day. We love you for joining us. What is today's date? The 24th of October. We are 1 week away from All Hallows Eve. You know what that means? Today's version of Bad Dad Jokes is going to be All Halloween Part 2 that I started last week. That's right. Of course, we got Melissa Atwell. We got Val's Wow Moments, Kiwanis Spotlight. We also have a great guest today. She is not related to Noah, who drove the Ark so many years ago, but her first name is Noah Aldak Meridian. She is the Director in Community Engagement for Bright Life Kids, which is a Cal Hope program from Bright Line, all these bright spots.
I know.
And Doc Val, she is hunkered down somewhere in some parking lot. Good morning, Noah. Good morning, Doc Val. How you ladies doing today?
Good morning.
Aloha. So I'm doing great. And I know this is Val MO. And so it's new vehicle, same kind of bat channel though, as far as having to drive off the mountain to be on the show. But I am so looking forward to knowing Noah better. I got a chance to meet you in LA at the Black Expo. And so just seeing what you do, this show is going to be amazing.
Yeah, we were kind of warming Noah up before the show started. And it was like 5 minutes before showtime, and I was sharing with Noah that sometimes Val's internet, as you guys all know, doesn't always cooperate. And I was explaining to Noah that sometimes Val's driving out of the mountains on her way to a parking lot or the side of the road. Just as I shared that story, in she pops, and we see she's in the car. So it's just like, that's the kind of show it's going to be today. So Noah, I hope your seatbelt is buckled here.
Yes, I am safe and ready to go, and I'm just so happy that Val is too.
Well, a couple of quick announcements before we get started. First and foremost, of course, we already have confirmed that Noah has a bad mom joke ready for us later. So she will continue the trend that our guests have started over the last couple of months, coming armed to join us at the end of the show with that stuff. Couple of things. Hey, don't forget, I'll be announcing this tomorrow during Aaron's Hour, but 1 week from tomorrow night before you go to bed, November 1st into November 2nd, y'all, change the clocks. You got to move them back. We fall back an hour. We gain an extra hour of sleep, which means on Sunday, when I take my afternoon nap at 3 in the afternoon, it's pitch black, and I love those naps. So keep in mind, we'll remind you next week anyway, but I figure being warned an extra week early never hurts. But some exciting news, and I posted this on Facebook this morning. I emailed Doc Val and John about this last night. Exciting news. The Kiwanis Connects show, along with my Aaron's Hour show, has been picked up by an additional network that is interested in adding the content. DBTV, David Bruner TV.tv, DBTV.tv, starting Sunday, November 2nd, 7 a.m. Eastern, and then the Aaron's Hour show will be 1 p.m. Eastern, but the Kiwanis Connect show, go to dbtv.tv, look at the award listing lineup of shows. We are joining some great company. Now, what does this mean for all of you? It's another resource to watch the show, and for all of you, great sponsors like bookvending.com and Comfort Care, Virginia Beach, and Different Strokes 757. Just much bigger audience to be part of, which means for all of you potential advertisers, now's the time to come on board. Yes, 7 a.m. Eastern. I know it's early, but it'll be on the network. You'll be able to watch it. That's not a problem.
That's perfect time for our friends in ASPAC.
There you go. Right. There you go. See, there's always a good reason. So
absolutely
great opportunity. If you want to know how to jump on board and become an advertiser with us now that we've got even more of an audience, just shoot me an email, kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. Same place to get info about those wonderful jerseys that we have on, that Val has hers on. Today I have them sporting a little different Kiwanis swag today. But kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com. All right, I think I've taken care of all of that crazy business. So let me formally introduce Noah so everybody gets an idea as to why she drew the short straw to come on the show today. Noah is the Director of Community Engagement at Brightline, which is based in LA. started her career serving human rights and international development organizations, and has spent the last 14 years building, driving, and enhancing programs to serve both local and global communities. Prior to Brightline, Noah spent 3 years building social care networks in the community engagement team at Unite Us. Noah is also fluent in Hebrew and speaks conversational Spanish. Is there another kind of Spanish besides conversation?
Fluent Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But here's what I find is an interesting perk for her to get into the line of work that she does. Nobody will ever guess what she's got her degree in because it has nothing to do with what she's doing right now. Like most of us, I have a degree in math, and look what I'm doing. She holds a BA in anthropology.
That is
From
correct.
the University of SoCal, and has a master's in human rights from the London School of Economics. So let me tell you, I wouldn't want to mess with her in a game of Monopoly. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, welcome to the show, Noah.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here today.
Absolutely. Good morning to everybody in the chat room, Kathy and the Literacy Club, and of course, good old Douglas. So, Doc Val, take it away.
Well, when we met, I hadn't realized that I was immense royalty, and this is even better. So how did you get involved in Bright Life with all of the things that you've got going on? It's just amazing.
Yeah, thanks for the question. I've always been interested in the world around me, which is why I studied anthropology. And for a long time, I was involved in international relief efforts and international human rights efforts. And then it got to the point where I wanted to figure out how to support folks at home, right, and in my own community. And I entered into the health technology space at Unite Us, developing, these social care networks, and then got the opportunity to build the community engagement program here at Brightline and under Bright Life Kids. And so we do really meaningful work by getting this behavioral health resource into the hands of as many families as possible. And I just wanted to be a part of that. I'm also a parent, a mother to a little feisty toddler. And so I do truly understand the pain points around becoming a parent. And so, yeah, just lucky to do this work.
I'm amazed that this kind of service exists, because I really believe that if my parents had had all these resources, I might have turned out to be a better kid. Uh, but most people don't realize that the kind of services that you do actually exist, and so walk us through how someone would connect with you and the services that you provide.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bright Life Kids was developed to be really as accessible as possible, meaning that any parent or caregiver who has a kid between the ages of 0 and 12 can go to our website, just search Bright Life Kids, and register on their own. So all you need to be eligible is a zip code in the state of California. We also ask for an email because we are a completely virtual service. Again, completely virtual. Yeah, we don't have any physical offices. With that said, our coaches are human beings. They are not AI, right? So folks hear virtual, they get a little bit nervous. These are real human beings on the screen. But you could either download our app. Our app is called Brightline on Android or Apple, or you can navigate to the website. And once you input that zip code, you'll answer a number of assessment questions based on the age of your child. And that assessment will let you know if you're a good fit for coaching. So coaching is what we call a subclinical offering. It's really based on that early intervention prevention model. And what that means is that any parent or caregiver could benefit from it, right? So we're all sort of facing like, is this sleep normal? Like my kid's having a hard time transitioning to school. There are a lot of these big feelings. How do I navigate that? And then the parent or caregiver has the opportunity to really select their coach based on fit. Right? So if you have a certain cultural fit, language preference, time availability that you want to see, the parent or caregiver can select that coach, and then they can start getting support that way. And we have both a secure chat feature and live coaching. So folks meet with their coach an average of once a week for a number of sessions.
Okay, so I'm having flashbacks because my husband, I have a bonus boy, and I think he's probably older than you are, but I have the flashbacks of the stories that my husband used to share, which was that our son would never go to sleep. I mean, was it like screaming hours? Yeah. screaming for hours on end. And then call the doctor and they would go, oh no, there's no way he could possibly scream that long. 3 hours is not reasonable. So for that kind of parent who, their nerves are frayed beyond belief and they're like going, can we take them back and exchange them? Right. So this is the kind of program that would save that parent from doing something that will land them in jail.
Yeah. And yeah. And
I had humor, but it is an emotional crisis.
It is. And I think you bring up a few really great points. One is that a lot of folks go to their doctor, their pediatrician, for advice on topics that maybe their doctor is not actually the professional in, right? Which is sort of these behavioral health issues where they might say like, yeah, well, it's a part of parenthood and you're sort of left there, right? Like, well, what do I do now? And so Bright Life Kids is really meant to be that stopgap solution where for free, you can reach out and say, I'm facing these issues. What should I do, right? How do I approach this? And then the other thing that you said, Val, is just like the massive impact on the health of the parent or caregiver, right? So yes, it's the kid screaming, but then you're the one who hasn't slept all night and maybe you have to go to work the next day, right? And you're feeling frayed and exhausted. And so Bright Life Kids really has this whole family approach where we know that, yes, we're focused on the behavioral health of the child, but really the involvement of the parent or caregiver is what's critical to the success of the family unit. So we're really focused on, supporting everyone.
Very, very cool. I've been traveling around a lot. And so one of I was trying to think of where it was, but the kid was doing zoomies. You know how it's just normally a pet that's just like running around, just everywhere all at once. And I've looked at the mom and I'm like, and I actually gave her one of the pieces that I picked up from your table. Because I was just like, this is worth your time, because she looked like she does everything while the child sleeps, and I don't think the child actually sleeps that often.
Right.
So is this program available in other states, or is this unique to California?
Yeah, great question. So we are funded by the state of California and limited to the state of California at this time. Actually, we were born out of an initiative by the state government, Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, where it was really like a pioneering investment in the behavioral health of Californians. We hope that other states will follow suit and see the value, but right now we're based in California.
When did this program get started?
Yeah, great question. We launched January 1st, 2024. So we're not even 2 years old yet. Yeah. But have been, frankly, massively successful. We've reached over 250,000 kids, more than 250,000 at this point in under 2 years.
Wow. That's huge. I'm reading on I have the website up and I gave John the link. We're going to put that on the crawl at the bottom of the screen so everybody has access to it. But at the bottom of the homepage, it talks about the clinical services are provided by licensed physicians, yada, yada, yada. For patients in California, this is known as Brightline Medical Associates of California, Inc. And then it talks about New Jersey and PA, and then there's Kansas. And so are there other branches or other just namesakes? How are they related?
Yeah, great question. So I know you mentioned at the beginning, Aaron, all the bright spots.
Right.
So Brightline is our parent company.
Right.
And it was Brightline, the company that was selected to provide Bright Life Kids the program. So Bright Life Kids is the state program. Brightline is our parent company, is really a nationwide sort of leader in pediatric behavioral health services. And so we have a number of other more clinical offerings, particularly in New York.
Gotcha. All right. We're going to stop right there as we're at about quarter after. Here's what we're going to do going into the break. We have about a minute and change video from Noah that we'd like to show going into our commercial break. So we're going to play that. Our sponsors, which will give Val enough time to change the oil and check the air in her tires in the parking lot while we're waiting to come back from break. All right, you're watching Kiwanis Connects. We have Noah with us today from Brightline for all this Bright Life Kids, Brightline. My bulb is going dim. We'll be right back.
Sorry.
Childhood is filled with lots of big feelings. So is parenthood. Big feelings aren't one size fits all. They're different for everyone, for every infant and toddler, every kid, every tween, and every family. Bright Life Kids can help you navigate those feelings with free, personalized behavioral health coaching and tools created by experts for families with kids ages 0 to 12. Live video sessions, secure chat, and on-demand tools are now at your fingertips when you need it most. Throughout every stage of childhood and parenthood. The best part? Thanks to our partnership with CalHope, Bright Life Kids is available to all California families, regardless of income, at no cost. It's really 100% free. No insurance or referrals needed. We're here for the tough stuff. From worries to tantrums, to making friends, to managing screen time. Bright Life Kids is your partner in parenting. Access to free, high-quality behavioral health coaching is finally here for California families. And enrollment is fast, easy, and secure. Get all the tools for all the feels. Sign up for free now at brightlife.kids.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchi's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need, from medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
Hey, honey, what you doing?
Getting ready to watch a game.
What about fixing up the house like you promised?
What you talking about?
Just the new light in the den, the new shower in our bathroom, the new fence around the yard, the front steps.
Stop! You know, I have a better idea. You know Craig down the street? He owns a company that specializes in handyman services, but he is more than just any old handyman.
Really? Would you say different strokes for different folks?
You know I will. You know why? Because he does home repairs and he does painting and kitchen remodels and bathrooms and everything else in between.
How are his prices?
Great value for great quality. You know, I think I'll invite him over and get a free estimate for all the things that I know will make you the happiest, dear.
Call Different Strokes Painting and Handyman Service for a free estimate by calling 757-395-9999 today.
That's 757-395-9999. Above the rest, they show up and show out by making your vision come to life. All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Hopefully you enjoyed the first video, giving you more information about Bright Life for Kids. It was a great informative video. Let's welcome Noah. She's the Director of Community Engagement. Of course, Doc Val is driving her car in the valet parking lot somewhere right about now. And no, I'm like, it's just too good. Anyway, so we were talking about the program a little bit, but I want to pick up with the question. You know, we're talking about the kids and the kids' behavior and the resources that are there, but let's talk about the parents or the caregivers. I mean, is there some benefit to that side of the coin in all of this? I mean, what kind of respite care, so to speak, will the adult in these scenarios get through the program as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, just want to emphasize that involvement in the program requires the consent and registration of the parent or caregiver, right? We are dealing with littles, so they're the ones to sort of opt into the program. And the entire program follows what we call the dyadic model, right? So what that means is really that the involvement of the parent or caregiver is critical to the success of the family unit. So when we're dealing with an age range like 0 to 12, you're not really going to put an 11-month-old on a Zoom call with a coach. You could, it probably wouldn't be very successful, maybe very cute. And so really from around ages 0 to 6, it's primarily the parent or caregiver that's on the call with the coach. They are the ones receiving the tools, tips, and tricks. They are the ones setting the goals with the coach. And then at around age 6, the coach will determine with the family if the child is developmentally ready to benefit from one-on-one sessions with the coach. But really what we're looking at is a lot of interaction and involvement with the parent or caregiver. We are the ones raising the kiddos, right? And so our ability to be empowered with tools is really what's going to positively impact the family unit.
Sounds good, because I think the balance has to be there. I mean, after all, someone who's 0 years old probably does need a little direction and help here, I would think.
Yeah, they're not going to love that virtual call. They're not really going to understand what's going on there.
Just put the monitor on the belly if you don't mind, and they'll talk right through the womb or something. So now, obviously, here's another thing that came to mind. I mean, California is a little bit of a melting pot state. I mean, people from all over, of course, all over the world are there, not unlike many other communities across the country, but where you are in LA is one of the prominent ones. So how does the program adjust accordingly to languages and culture and the differences of the people that can be, or families, I should say, that would become part of the program?
Yeah, it's such an important question, because what is the point of the program if it's not accessible, right? And so first of all, we have coaches that are fully bilingual in English and Spanish. You can also navigate, when you navigate to Bright Life Kids, you could actually toggle and have the whole experience in Spanish for our Spanish speaking communities out there. And then we also have live translation services in 17 other languages. So what that means is when you register, you can indicate a preferred language, and then we invite a live translator to your session. So we have Ukrainian, we have Farsi, we have a number of other languages that folks can benefit from. And then the other piece that I think is really important is that for registration to Bright Life Kids, we do not ask for immigration information. We do not ask for insurance information. And so we're thinking about accessibility, not just across kind of demographic diverse populations, but also affordability, right? And can folks reach the program? So there are a number of different ways that we're really, attempting to reach the diverse populations of California, and making sure that it's accessible.
Right on.
You talk about affordability, and so what are the costs and resources needed to be able to participate in this program?
Yeah, so thanks to funding by the state of California, the program is completely free. The coaching offering is completely free. I know it's hard to believe, but it is completely free.
Say it 3 times and we'll get it, right?
Multiple times. The nuance I want to provide is that as folks come through our virtual doors, there will be instances where someone answers assessment questions and they actually need a higher level of care, right? So again, our program is clinical, it's coaching, but someone might come through and perhaps, their kid has an eating disorder. And so they actually need someone who specializes that and higher levels of care. In that case, our coach specialists will help them get connected to the best resource. In those scenarios is when we will connect you, to an offering based on your needs. So if you have insurance, we can, connect you to a resource that takes that insurance. That is the only scenario in which you might be connected to something that's low cost or takes insurance. But our in-house offering of coaching is completely free.
Okay.
Free is good.
Very good. I think if we say it 3 more times, free is awesome.
How big is your staff?
So we actually adjust the number of coaches based on demand, so it fluctuates. But our staff is just very diverse. Folks speak a lot of different languages. They have a lot of different types of backgrounds. But I think, Aaron, I'd actually love to talk about our coaches for a second and their qualifications, because people hear coaches and they're like, but they're not therapists. So who are these folks, right? So they all have a master's degree in a health-related field or a bachelor's degree in combination with what we call a coaching certification. So there's the National Board for Health and Wellness Coaching, the International Coaching Federation. And then they also have to come in with a minimum of 5 years of direct experience working with families. Right now, they're averaging between 7 and 8. So shout out to our coaches. And then they also undergo an additional 8 80 hours of training when they join our organization. And part of that is working with diverse populations, right? So how do we support families, BIPOC families, LGBTQ plus families? So I just want to emphasize that there's a lot of thought and intention behind hiring the folks that support our families.
How do people know that you're out there? So what I mean by that is, are there schools out there equipped with your knowledge that if they have children in their student body that is having issues, or there's home issues, are there referral programs, all that sort of stuff? How do families find you?
Great question. So as you all see, I'm part of the community engagement team. My team's job is really to promote Bright Life Kids and get the word out, primarily through partnerships and also showing up in community. So one of the things that we do partner with schools, public agencies, pediatricians, providers, and we say, hey, we're this free resource for your families. We would love to work together to make sure that they know about it. So that's one way. We also stand behind tables at resource fairs, community events, and we interact with the families and kids and really help them walk through the resource. And then, of course, we have you'll hear our radio ads. You'll see us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and we encourage folks to follow us there. We have a lot of great content about coaching and parenting, and we're continuing to, promote Bright Life Kids through those channels.
I know a
You're
certain
Kiwanis
Connects
here.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I know a certain Kiwanis Connects show that would love to talk to you about running some of your advertisements on and support, but I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just saying.
I will make the right connections. Yeah.
Awesome. But more, it's like my brain's going 8 million miles an hour on this. We have almost 400 clubs throughout California, Nevada, and Hawaii. 300 plus of them are in California. And so we focus in on kids in our community. And so it would be a great partnership to have you come do presentations and be at some of our major events where we're interfacing with thousands of kiddos in the schools. So are you familiar with like Key Club at all?
Yes. Yeah. And I know Adriana, my colleague, has been talking to you all about sort of connecting with the various branches. So we would absolutely love to present wherever you'll have us. We do a lot of presentations, as I mentioned, to schools and different types of organizations. So yeah, happy to do that.
That is awesome. And so when we look at the website and it talks about Pennsylvania, what does the organization in Pennsylvania look like? Because we are an international show. So is someone in Pennsylvania able to reach out to someone like you?
So right now, the sort of no-cost coaching program is only in California. The other states are covered by our clinical offerings, which do involve sort of like private pay and insurance. So we're hoping we can, expand the no-cost sort of coaching benefit eventually to other states. But right now, this particular offering is in California only. But
so that's the opportunity. That's the opportunity that Kiwanis clubs and Kiwanis districts can actually help sponsor this kind of program and get the funding so that it can become no cost.
Yeah, I love it.
Kathy Szymanski, we need to talk.
And she's watching. She's in the chat room.
Yeah, happy to have that conversation.
Because I think that every kid in the country deserves this. And right now how long does it take from the time you fill out the assessment to the first time a child can actually interface?
Yeah, great question. So right now we are averaging 1.7 days to intake. So what that means is once someone registers, the actual assessment questions take about a couple of minutes to fill out. So that's really quick. They're able to find a coach with availability within 2 business days, roughly. Where that might vary is if someone has like a very specific time frame and language need, right? That sort of like narrows the possibilities. But on average, it's about 2 business days, which for those who are listening, who understand accessibility to behavioral health services, it's sort of unheard of. Usually services take 3 to 4 weeks, if that, just to get your first intake session.
Want to let everybody know that we changed the crawl at the bottom of the screen from the website to Noah's email. So if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, referrals, or whatever, you can email her at N as in Noah, OLDAK at hellobrightline.com. So again, that's NOLDAK at hellobrightline.com. If you miss it, just go back to the playback after 1 p.m. here Eastern time, whether on Facebook or YouTube, and just rewatch the show, pick up the contact information and or the website, and direct your comments and questions to Noah. She'll be happy to get back to you and get you in the right direction. So again, Kathy Zemansky.
That's after 10 Pacific Coast time in
That's why I
California.
said 1 p.m. Eastern. That would be after 10 a.m.
We like to speak in Pacific Standard Time as well. Thank you. So just putting it out there. I'm feisty today.
So Kathy Zemansky, that's NOLDAK at hellobrightline. Okay. Anyway, I digress. So just want to remind everybody you are watching Kiwanis Connects, the weekly fun show that brings you all the news about Kiwanis that seem to fit in a 60-minute show for the week. Okay. Anyway, go ahead, Val. Take it away.
Well, I was just thinking when you talk about 2.5 days, oh my goodness, there's nothing that I have seen that involves counseling and support that goes that fast. It's been 2.5 months for some programs that we have. So for you to be that responsive, kudos to you. Because kids' timeline and lifeline is so much shorter. So, wow. So if I do an assessment for my 11-year-old and they are brought into this, what would their experience be like with a coach? What would the intake or the first conversation look like?
Yeah. So first, I just want to emphasize it really varies based on the family and what issues they're handling. But generally speaking, the first intake session will really be the coach figuring out what issue areas you want to address and what's going on specifically with your family, right? So an 11-year-old dealing with bullying at school is going to look very different, right, from an 11-year-old that, I don't know, maybe has a lot of anxiety during school drop-off. It's really going to vary. But the first intake session will always involve the parent or caregiver. And then after that is really dependent on the coach and family kind of mixing and matching sessions that work for them. So what that means is it could be the first intake, again, with the parent or caregiver, maybe the secondary session, the whole family's on the line. And then by the third session, the kiddo wants to be one-on-one with their coach, right? And what's great about that, again, no one has to be married to that format. If by the fourth session, the parents or caregivers want to come back on with their kiddo, that's completely viable. It's going to really depend on the coach and the family.
As I'm sitting here listening to this and the program is designed for 0 through 12, there's probably a lot of adults that can use support like this as well. And I'm not saying that to be goofy or silly. Is there a parallel program similar to this that is intended for teenagers, adults, something I know that's out of your wheelhouse in the realm of what we're talking about, but that's the thought that popped into my head. Is there something out there that's parallel to that you're familiar with for the older bracket?
Yeah, great question. So under what I mentioned before, the CYBHI umbrella, Children and Youth Behavioral Health Initiative, there's actually what we call our sibling program, Saluna, powered by Kooth, and they are geared towards ages 13 to 25. Now, the really just important difference here is that because they're dealing with an older age bracket, it does not require the involvement of the parent or caregiver. So a teenager can go on and sort of download their app on their own. But we are both behavioral health virtual services providers under the CYBHI program. So highly recommend if you have a teen or what we like to call youth now member who wants, behavioral health support, please go and check them out. They're absolutely a resource available. And yeah, I would highly recommend you check them out as well.
And then if you're older than 25, good luck to you. Anyway, no, I'm only kidding. No,
issues are solved.
That's right. Shout out to Patrick Frazee out in Vegas who's watching. Good morning, Patrick. Thank you for popping in there. Appreciate it. And everybody else that's out there. A lot of good stuff. So, folks, there's a lot of information that is flying around about this program. Again, I want to encourage you to go back after we are done. Just pick it up on either Facebook, on any of the channels there, whether it's on the Kiwanis Connects show page, WVBV TV, or WWDB TV on Facebook or YouTube, and just rewatch it at your convenience. Share it with somebody who may need the services. Let them know that it's out there. Okay, Val.
So I want to make sure that we haven't missed something really, really critical. So when I made the invitation to you, I really was. I'm even more excited now because I think that this is something that will partner so well with Kiwanis. But what are some of the things that you wish people knew about your program that we maybe haven't shared yet?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking. So one of the things I think is really important to understand is that not every parent or family unit is necessarily ready for live one-on-one sessions. There's a lot of stigma around getting behavioral health support, and we understand that, which is why you can also interact with Bright Life Kids in a number of different ways. So first of all, once you register, you're always going to have access to what we call digital tools. So these are sort of like short audio tools, articles about different issue areas. So again, I'm a parent of a toddler, so this is top of mind for me, but it could be like an article, 3 ways to deal with a toddler tantrum, right? For example. So there are a lot of resources available that way. We also have something that we call peer communities. So I like to call it our virtual village, where essentially we have a number of different groups based on age bracket. And we have one for the Latinx community, where parents and caregivers can ask and answer a number of different questions. And the whole forum is moderated by coaches. So maybe Val, to sort of to your point earlier, someone could post, I was up for 3 hours last night. My kiddo wouldn't stop screaming. I'm at a loss and I don't know what to do. Well, you'll have the support of a number of other parents and caregivers who can answer that question. And also a coach is moderating it, right, to make sure that the content is appropriate. And then the last thing I want to emphasize, I know I alluded to it before, but is really this care coordination piece. So if you're a parent or caregiver out there and you're like, I still don't understand this whole coaching thing, but I really need help, right? Please register. It is free. The assessment will let you know if you're a good fit for the program. And then if you're routed to a coach specialist because you need a higher level of acuity care, they will help you get connected to the right resource, right? So just want to put it out there. Please do not stress out, right? If you just are unsure about how to navigate all of this, we will do that work for you. That is why we are here. And so we just encourage you to register. You can poke around, the resource and kind of see what works for you. Even if you don't want to book live care, there are a number of other ways to get involved. And we are really here to be a part of this larger ecosystem and support parents and caregivers in a way that works for them. So again, if you're just unsure about behavioral health support, know that 77% of the families who come to us are actually getting behavioral health support for the first time, right? So you are not alone. And I just want to emphasize that we're here for the community and want to meet them where they're at.
Right on. Right on. All right, we're going to stop right there. We're going to step aside a few minutes early for our second break of the show. When we come back, more with Noah, because she's got a bad mom joke ready for us. We're changing gears a little bit. We got, of course, Melissa Atwell Mental Health Moment. We got Val's On the Road. We got Val's Kiwanis Moment. And, of course, Bad Dad Jokes, Halloween themed. Don't go anywhere. Kiwanis Connects will be right back.
I wouldn't let aging stop me from being me.
Oh, yeah, still got those moves in me.
I will be fabulous.
I will accessorize.
Comfort Care can help with as much or as little home care as you need. From medication reminders and meal prep to everyday chores and errands. Let us create your personalized care plan and find the perfect caregiver match so you can live your best life possible.
2 out of 3 kids in America can't read at grade level. And without help, many will never catch up. In a world of screens, short attention spans, and endless distractions, getting kids excited about reading has never been harder. That's where Kiwanis Club steps in. Through Inchy's bookworm vending machines, kids earn tokens for positive behaviors, achievements, kindness, and more, and use them to pick a book they just can't wait to read. Every book is a child's to keep. Every book builds a personal at-home library, and every page sparks curiosity, confidence, and lifelong learning. Your club can make it happen. Let's put more books and more smiles into the hands of kids who need them most. Together, we can change the story, one book at a time. To learn more, go to bookvending.com/Kiwanis.
All right, welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. Couple of quick reminders. John, if you could bring up the flyers for me. I will wait to see which is the first one that comes up. There we go. Just remember to mark your calendars, April 25th, 2026. Historic Kempsville Family Fun Fest, presented by the Lions Medical Eye Bank, the Kiwanis Clubs of Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, as well as the Episcopal Emmanuel Church. This is celebrating the 250th anniversary of America, as well as the historical value of why Kempsville, the town I live in here in Virginia Beach, is so important to the Revolutionary War, the War of Independence back in the 17-something or other. John was there actually covering it for everybody. So we're looking for vendors. It'll be a fun time. I will be the town crier dressed in colonial garb. And then the next one is coming up November 9th for all you flat track roller derby, women's roller derby fans. Ghost Fleet Roller Derby, Fall Brawl 2025, November 9th. 9 a.m. doors open. First whistle at 10 at the Peninsula Family Skating Center, 307 Main Street, Newport News. Yours truly has been invited to lend his voice to the public address announcing for flat track women's roller derby. So if you're looking for something different to do here in the area, November 9th, check it out. And also programming note here for Kiwanis Connects. On Friday, November 14th, Lieutenant Governor Paul Miller here of the Capital District of our Division 11 here in Virginia Beach. He's going to be our guest on Kiwanis Connects. Right, Val?
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to meeting him and being a part of this. And
Yeah.
so, Noah, you talked a little bit earlier about, something about Key Club. So were you a Key Clubber?
I was not a Key Clubber.
Oh, bummer.
Circle K?
What's that?
Circle K in college?
No, I didn't do Circle K in college.
Well, then why are you not a Kiwanian now then?
I think this is my entry point right here, right now. I think that's
I think so too. I absolutely do. Because I can't imagine how much amazingness you could bring to our organization. It's not just what we can do for you, but oh my goodness, your background and what you do is absolutely phenomenal. And so if there was a high school student or a college student that wanted to get more involved or do an internship, do you guys do that kind of stuff with you?
Great question. Yeah, we do actually have a health education internship program. Our candidates, though, are generally master's students. A lot of them come with interest in public health, since we are basically a public health program. We will be launching our next cohort in 2026, but highly recommend if anyone's interested, they can reach out to me directly, and happy to sort of, if they're already ahead of the game and want some information, we can share, the description with them. But our interns are really critical to the success of the program. They work alongside our community engagement leads to show up to community fairs and events and really support parents and caregivers in accessing the program, answer any questions, and also hang out with the kids at the events, right? We have a lot of fun pop-its and little activities for them. So we try and make it, as exciting as possible for everyone.
Leave it to Douglas Chadwick, because in the chat room, he popped in the link for you to get an online application to become a Kiwanian.
Okay.
So,
I love it. Okay.
There you go. You'll have a plethora of clubs to select, but I'm sure under the guidance of Doc Val, she'll point you in the right direction and become a member of probably about 12 of them. So don't worry about it.
We'll talk a lot more offline, but it's that easy. And if someone's actually listening and going, wow, I would love to be a part of Kiwanis, or I'd love to know more about this. It's that easy. Find a local club that is doing things like this. Kids' mental health right now is one of our major focuses. And so if you're in an area that it has minimal cost to it, sponsor grants for your parents and kids through your local foundation in your district, or your club foundation, or even International's Children's Fund, because this is worth it. I think about what the average 12-year-old is going through right now. When they look at everything that's going on TV, and 12 is that age where you have so much cognitive dissonance. There's so much going on in your head, so many changes happening in your body. School is just a landmine of opportunities to get in trouble. And to have someone that's not your parent to talk to,
Yeah.
and you don't have to leave your bedroom.
Right.
How powerful is that? Absolutely, absolutely powerful.
There
So,
is something
Erin,
comforting in that.
yeah, absolutely. And so, Erin, I know that we've got a number of things on tap, but is there something else that you wanted to ask Noah before we start with our other parts for what we're
No,
doing?
I think she was very comprehensive, and no, I'm good. I mean, I have her email address, and now we're connected on Facebook. So if something squirrely comes up, I can always get her. So we're talking
Absolutely.
about kids' mental health. Let's transition to Melissa Atwell real quickly, and then we'll come back to you, Val. Here is Melissa Atwell with the mental health moment.
Hi, I'm Melissa Atwell, founder and CEO of the Mental Health Moment. Today, I want to really point out that mental health is just health. It's not separate. Physical health, mental health. You don't ignore a broken bone, right? So don't ignore your mind when it's in pain. Prioritize your peace. Prioritize your mental health. Remember, take a moment for your mental health.
Well said, Miss Melissa. All right, Doc Val, we'll turn it back to you. Where do you want to go next?
I just think that fits so well with
Yeah.
everything that we're talking about. And it fits really well with the Kiwanis Club that we're working on starting, which is the Kiwanis Club for Nevada Mental Health Care. And I think that we may need one of those clubs here in California. And so, Noah, I've been really thinking you might want to be a part of a brand new chapter in Kiwanis that really focuses in on mental health care for kiddos.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more, because my brain is 8 million miles an hour on that. And while my car is parked in gear, I think Val on the road might not be a bad next step.
There you go.
So. Unfortunately, my vehicle does not look like that this week. So I've actually cleaned it out. There's no cargo, not even a dog in the back seat right now. But I am on the road a lot coming up. And so I would love for anybody who is in the Santa Clarita, San Jose area to think about coming to a regional training conference. We're doing something totally different, which is talking all about membership, and making your clubs better, membership processes that will invite new members, and club revitalization. And club revitalization is the new thing. I talked a little bit with Taka last week about that. And so as I am setting my platform up to talk about doing town halls, we'll talk more about how you can revitalize your club so that you become attractive, because people like Noah are perfect fits for Kiwanis, but if we're not ready for them, they're not going to enjoy what we do. So on the road most of next week, and so I'll be broadcasting from Costa Mesa in Southern California next week with you, Erin.
Woohoo!
Woo-hoo.
Shout out to Rick Upchurch. Rick Upchurch is in the chat room. Good morning, buddy.
Hi, Rick.
Even though your Broncos came behind and beat my Giants last week, or my Giants actually gave you a game last week. But anyway, all right. Yes, so you'll be on the road. That'll be fun. Well, now that at least on the road, and if you have to like broadcast from your car, it makes sense because you'll be anyway. I'm trying to tie all that together.
I'm hopefully being broadcasting from a hotel room somewhere or a hotel ballroom. You know, that the vehicle is really, really comfy, but it's just not the best look for me. So.
All right, with that, we're going to transition into the part of the show where we ask for audience participation. And so now it is time for Noah to share her bad mom joke with us to kick off our bad dad jokes. So Noah, the spotlight is yours.
This is the section that makes me most nervous. Okay.
Me too, because if your joke is too good, you're setting the bar too high.
I mean, if good means as grown worthy as possible, then great. All right. Okay. So what do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
What do you call a fish wearing a bow tie?
Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Sophisticated. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Well, even Steve Nagel gave a oh boy. All right. All right, John, let's hit it. All right. As I mentioned at the top of the show, it is part 2 of the Halloween themed jokes. And today I'm going to be zombie heavy. I don't know why, but there was just a slew of zombie related jokes that just sort of struck me funny. But first, here's this one. Non-zombie, by the way. What kinds of dogs do vampires like? What's a vampire's favorite dog?
Bloodhound.
Bloodhounds. That is correct, John. Thank you very little. Appreciate that. See, Noah liked that one. Val's just holding it in. I know she is.
Yeah.
What's a skeleton's favorite song? What is a skeleton's favorite song?
Dim Bones?
No.
I was going to say that, but you have to be a certain age to remember it, Val.
No, but how about this one? Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. All right. All right, here we go. What's a pumpkin's best hope to quit smoking? How does a pumpkin quit smoking? They have to put on a pumpkin patch.
Wait, that's great.
You like that one?
I like that one.
Noah, you're welcome back.
I think Andy's thinking.
Andy's not well.
He gave you a thumbs up.
Yeah, sure. He can lie through the video too. It's okay. All right, here we go. Here comes some zombie jokes. Like it or not. Why did the zombie become a mortician? Did you hear about this? Why the zombie became a mortician? Because he needed to put food on the table.
Oh.
Why aren't zombies ever? I know. These zombie ones, there are a couple in here that are kind of morbid, so you just have to deal with it. Why aren't zombies ever arrested? Why aren't zombies ever arrested? Because they can't be captured alive. Feel free to use dinner table. You can use these. No, I expect you to use these at your next board meeting. Okay. What is the zombie's What is the zombie's least favorite treat? What is the zombie's least favorite treat, you may ask? Lifesavers.
Okay.
You like that one? All right. There you go. What brand of shampoo do zombies use? What kind of shampoo? What's the brand of shampoo that zombies use?
Head and Shoulders?
Head and Shoulders. You got it, Val. You got it. Head and Shoulders.
Andy guessed it.
Oh, Andy got it? All right, one for Andy. That's good. Where do zombies live? Where do zombies live? Right? Where do they live?
They don't.
If you guessed on a dead-end street, you'd be right. Zombies, dead-end street. Listen, folks, if you're not laughing at these now, in about 30 minutes, when you just start laughing hysterically for no reason, this is why. Okay. When do zombies go to sleep?
I don't know.
When they're dead tired.
Hmm.
All right. Two more. What's a vampire's favorite fruit? What's a vampire's favorite fruit? If you guessed nectarines, you'd be right.
How about a blood orange?
I was going to say that.
Blood orange? No, that would be good too. All right, here you go. So I'm purposely saving that. This is the last one, the last zombie joke. I told you there's a couple in here morbid, and I'm going to end this one with one that probably crosses the line, but it's funny.
Bring it on.
Here it comes, John. You asked for it. What is a zombie sleepover called? What is a zombie sleepover called? And I'll tell you right now, you can send your letters and comments. Here we go. A zombie sleepover is called a mass grave. With that, that ends this week's version of Bad Dad Jokes. I told you it was morbid. Folks.
Oh, goodness.
I just read them. I don't write them. I take them off the internet. So if you don't like that one.
Yeah, but you pick them.
That's true. I do.
And he reads them out loud. So I think we really need to go to a wow with that.
He reads them out loud. That's the funny part.
Yes, exactly. All right. Val wants to go to a Kiwanis well, John. So let's help that.
Oh my goodness. I really have conflict when I go into Costco because they always seem to be 3 holidays ahead. And so I've gone in and everything is decorated in Christmas, and I was just like, oh, please no, I am so not there. But it really is time for clubs to start thinking about what they're doing for the holidays. And my big wow moment was that our friend Daryl Gomes in Georgia is doing their largest project of the year. They have over 1,500 books that they will be wrapping for kids this weekend. It's their big wrap party so that each child gets a bundle of books for the holidays on the last day of school. And because their kiddos get out of school before Thanksgiving and they don't go back until early January. So it's time to start planning ahead for those holidays. And that was my wow, is that he already has his books delivered. His key clubbers and everybody are helping wrap all 1,500 books, and they're ready to go. I feel so far behind.
You want to give a nice holiday gift, bookvending.com. Get one of those book vending machines in your school or in your community center as well and load it up with books. That's a great gift. That's what I would suggest you do, because it'll be the gift that keeps on giving for sure. I think that's great.
Absolutely. And it's time to order your America 250 books.
Absolutely.
Because Andre Lewis has come up with this beautiful book to start the new season. And so if you order now, you can actually have those ready as a welcome back New Year's gift. And so my club's already ordered theirs. And I'm hoping that other clubs do, because this is a phenomenal project. So
imagine a machine with all of Andre Lewis's books in it. He's got enough books to fill those machines up by themselves. Noah, you've survived Kiwanis Connects, bad dad jokes and innuendos and everything. So we want to thank you for coming in today. Are there any final thoughts from you regarding the program or what you want to share with our audience before we say goodbye?
First off, thank you for having me. And once again, we're available completely for free, brightlife.kids. Please check us out. And just want to emphasize, we're here to be a resource to the community. So again, just thank you for having me.
Absolutely. One quick programming note before I go to Val for final thoughts. Tomorrow, Aaron's Hour, 11 a.m. Eastern. My guest, Caitlin Dawson, she is the Apprenticeship Program Director for Tidewater Community College. We'll be talking with her tomorrow regarding the apprenticeship program. And I have no idea who's going to be on Kiwanis Connects next week. We're only a week away. We don't figure that stuff out till Thursday. So you have time to look for us on Facebook. No, actually, what's happening in March, Val?
So in March, we have 2 major events, but the number one event that we want to talk about is, drumroll please, March 6th. It's like, la, la, la. March 6th is the Rose Float first annual golf tournament at Brookside Golf Course. And so, any highlights that you want to give, Aaron,
Yeah,
so people know?
absolutely. Be on the lookout for information. But celebrity athletes that have confirmed thus far, and of course, cards subject to change. How does Kellen Winslow sound?
Sounds awesome to me.
How about Willie Gault? Charlie Joyner? Just to name a few, these celebrity athletes will be in attendance at Brookside Golf Course on March 6th. So come on down, be on the lookout. Information, save the date information and stuff will be going out in the next couple of days. We're just putting some finishing touches. And then we do have another one the week after, which we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. But first, we're going to focus on that. All right, with that, everybody, as always,
Aaron, before you go, you have to tell people what city, because it's in Pasadena, California.
Yes,
and
thank
it
you.
is a perfect time to come golf for $1,500 for a foursome. You're a part of an amazing experience, and it is in Pasadena, California. People need to know where they're coming.
Right in the shadows of the Rose Bowl Stadium, folks. It's going to be right. You could almost like reach out and touch it. Well, you might be able to if you run really quick, go touch the building and come back and tee off. But anyway, yes, right in Pasadena.
You hit it with a golf ball?
Probably. Well, the way I golf, I certainly will. That's for darn sure. It's a good thing I'm not golfing. All right, with that, yes, so there'll be information about that coming. Thank everybody for watching. Noah, thank you for coming on and enduring jokes. We appreciate it. And Doc Val, as always, final thoughts.
My final thought is that it's never too late to get help for what you need. And I always love the fact that we have great guests like Noah on board. It just makes my week. Thank you, John. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. And we'll see you next week.
You betcha. Be kind to everybody. Why? We're all we have. We'll see you next time right here on Kiwanis Connects. I now call this show adjourned.